Good morning, dear students. Today, our topic is a topic from the neuro approach, which is body weight supported treadmill training. So, body weight is supported while the patient is walking on a treadmill while doing treadmill training, and treadmill training usually is done for fitness. But here we are making the patient do it on the treadmill with the most percentage of the body weight being supported or suspended by other system. So here it is aimed for improving the gait function. Here you can see the figure of a body weight supported treadmill system, training system. Here you can see the person is walking on a treadmill, which is a hand railing. The person can hold that, and a harness. Here, body weight is being supported by a harness. A jacket is worn with Velcro strappings, so pelvic as well as lower trunk and shoulder straps, and the harness is supported both in anterior and posteriorly, so that the the line of gravity is maintained. Otherwise, the patient may tilt over, and the hand railing should be exactly the height of the trochanter of the patient. So according to that, the height of the hand railing of the treadmill should be adjustable here, and treadmill can also be, the treadmill mat is moving, and also some treadmills it will be movable with wheels, so you can move change the position if required, a little bit front or backward possibly. And then the height of the system, here we are using a metallic suspended system, the metal frame is there. So this height of this whole system according to the person, and also it can be increased or decreased using a winch, which is shown here. And the body weight suspension is sometimes directly on the metal frame, fixed frame, or sometimes using a counterweight, or sometimes it is directly fixed to the ceiling. So this system is comparatively the better system, because here the counterweight will be, you can measure the amount of weight. So the progression of the person, that how much weight he is taking by his own legs or hands. Initially we can give more weight. Slowly if you reduce the weight, more body weight will be supported by his own lower limbs and upper limbs. So this system is the most ideal system, because if you are using the fixed one on the ceiling, the problem is you cannot move the treatment area from that area. Always the treadmill has to be put in that area. So if at all you want to move, this system is a mobile system. You can move this from one area to another. So these are the many benefits and advantages and disadvantages of many systems are there. So this one is commonly used system. So the body weight supported treadmill training, WSTT, is a task oriented. Here the task is gait. So task oriented technique for gait restoration, gait ability, gait function. Body weight supported treadmill training is a method for retraining walking. So it is a retraining for walking, basically when it is used for stroke patient. Otherwise, if it is used for a pediatric patient, it is used for training, walking training. A person with body weight WSTT is you supported the body weight is supported by the harness that is suspended from a metal frame, as we have seen in the earlier figure, or from the ceiling. Indications: mainly used for post stroke rehabilitation, then spinal cord injury patients, any patients requiring gait correction without the contraindications of suspending the patient. If for some patients, suspending the patient, because especially they have some abdominal surgeries or those kind of area where you cannot put the harness, then it is, if it is not there, some patients may, other cases also, if there is no contraindication for body weight suspended treadmill training, then you can give this treatment technique. In pediatric physical therapy, in conditions such as cerebral palsy, infantile hemiplegia, and a lot of genetic disorders where gait dysfunction is there, so there also it is highly used. Body weight supported treadmill training improves gait by enhancing by factors such as speed of the walking, cadence will be increasing, endurance means ability to walk for a longer duration. That means here on the treadmill it is longer duration because distance, the treadmill is in the same place, only distance can be digitally shown in the monitor. Balance, the standing balance, the gait, the walking balance, and this balance is very very important. So this, even though it is for gait enhancing gait, when also it helps in improving the balance, therefore fall can be reduced, reduction of fall can be prevented. Motor recovery, that is a functional recovery or the mobility recovery, and basically functional walking. The BWSTT, that is a body weight supported treadmill training, has the advantage over the conventional therapy. Normally, what we do is the patient uses maybe a mobility device such as a walker or a stick, and then will be assisted by the physiotherapist has to support the body weight of the person and try to make him walking. But here, what happens is the energy of the physiotherapist is more for supporting the body weight rather than correcting or improving the gait pattern of the patient. So in this scenario, the advantage is that over the conventional therapy, that we can give more repetitive, and we can increase the duration of the practice because the physiotherapist will not get tired, and also the patient will not get tired because the body weight is been supported, percentage of body weight is been supported by the system. So task oriented practice is can be applied. So task oriented practice is correction of gait, and more repetition can be provided with this treatment, and higher intensity, more intensity treatment. Even the treadmill, when the gait parameters are improving, such as the stride length, step length, and the cadence is improving, you can also increase the inclination of the uh, treadmill platform, so that the intensity of the gait exercises, that is gait training activities, can be increased. So these are the important advantages of using BWSTT over the conventional therapy which we commonly use in the parallel bar or obstacle bar or those things. So going to some of the evidences, whatever evidences we are able to collect, we are understanding that the body weight suspended treadmill training is more effective in gait speed improvement than the regular physiotherapy. So one thing is sure, gait speed of the patient, a post stroke or any spinal cord injury, that is lower level injury, and the cerebral palsy and the other conditions, pediatric, the speed of the gait of the cadence is surely improving. It has been demonstrated that the BWSTT induces changes in corticomotor excitability. It is inducing change in the corticomotor, the motor area of the cortex. The excitability of the bed cells are seen more using EEG studies are proving that, which lead to improved balance and gait performance with even chronic stroke patients. Stroke patients, not only acute or subacute. It is, we are talking about stroke patient between 1 year to 2 year or 3 year to 4 year, like that. Also, when we start BWSTT, the balance and the gait performance, the gait parameters are shown to be improving, as well as the EEG readings of the motor area of the cortex are shown to be more comparatively. The excitations are more. The BWSTT can increase walking endurance in subacute stage after stroke, but no improvement was reported in balance and 10-meter gait speed. So in subacute stage, they they did not show any change in some studies in the gait speed of 10-meter gait speed. So that means that some studies are showing this, but there are contradicting studies also. To date, there are few studies that have used gait analysis to show how the improvements in gait parameters come about from the BWSTT or conventional therapy. So that means that in this area, we have a lack of understanding of the human locomotion, especially after the pathology such as stroke. Since gait impairments are result of deficient neuromuscular control, whenever somebody has a gait deficiency or gait deficit, we have to understand that impairments of the gait are due to some deficits in the neuromuscular control. A better understanding of the impact of gait training on lower limb motor pattern is therefore essential. Improvement on individual biomechanical tasks of walking, such as leg swing, balance control, is positively associated with walking performance. So leg swinging, that is, we know the swing phase and the stance phase of the gait. So the during the swing phase means we are talking about single limb stance. So single limb stance requires high level of balance control, which we all of you are well aware. We have studied that in the biomechanics in the chapter gait, unilateral stance, you understand that, and also in the gait. So balance control is positively associated with walking performance. So BWST helps in improving balance. So naturally gait will also improve once balance is improved. So what are the prerequisites? What all qualifications a patient should have? Which patients can you put on the BWST training? The participation should have some conditions, indications also we have seen, but now we know we have to check for some precautions and prerequisites. Patients should be able to follow simple two-step commands, have adequate sustained. They should be able to, the patient who are you are going to put into BWST should be able to comprehend what you are commanding. Otherwise, there are a lot of patients who have difficulty in, sensory speech and motor speech problem may be there post stroke. So, aphasic patient, you cannot put them on this because whatever you are commanding, they will not understand what you are talking. So, that is dangerous for the patient. So, patient with aphasia, especially sensory aphasia, who cannot comprehend your commands, should not be put on the PWSTT. Alternating attention, those who are not having proper attention, neglects, patient with neglect, patient with vision problem, especially children who are having cortical blindness and all, you cannot put them on, and because they cannot, most of the gait trainers have nowadays have, it is also connected to visual reality rehabilitation, which I have already discussed. So those kind of activity for that, so that means that good speech, good comprehension, good mental psychological status, good vision is very, very necessary to, first of all, to put the patient into this training. They should also be able to communicate verbally, at least non-verbally. If there is motor aphasia, okay, you can put the patient, but the patient should be able to non-verbally communicate with you. And so the patient should also have some kind of tolerance and patience. The patient should not have any agitative or irritating behavior, so that he or she may open the strap and then endanger themselves. That is not allowed. Take note of any external bowel bladder management, any catheter, any urinary catheter, any Foley's catheter, colostomy bag, suprapubic catheter, percutaneous endoscopic gastronomy tube. All this has to be taken into consideration. And if all these tubes are there, you have to be taking special care that the device and these tubes are not coming into contact with each other. Otherwise, it is going to become a serious problem for the patient. Why we have to take care of these Foley's catheter, all the catheters and tubes? They may interfere with the harness. The harness is a suspending device which may interfere with the tube and get, kinked or getting like a cord getting swindled around it. So you cannot allow that. While the patient is participating in unweighted gait training, make the necessary adjustments as clinically indicated. Clinically indicated adjustments have to be given. The harness should not interfere with the Foley's catheter if it is positioned correctly. So that has to be taken into consideration. Treatment duration, it is 20 to 40 minutes between rest periods in between, 4 to 5 days at a week for at least 2 weeks, as long as 6 weeks, maximum 6 weeks.